So, Colin, what are the expectations from this trip?
Well, first things we should say is that everybody is trying really hard to keep the expectations as low as possible. Blinken, including the US State Department, also trying to make sure that people don't expect too much from this going forward. But there's quite a lot at stake here, obviously.
Very, very important. As Heidi mentioned, the most senior U.S. official to visit in 5 years, and at a time when China-U.S. relations seem to be at new lows.
Right. You know, this was meant to happen months ago, but then, of course, we had the balloon incident, which set back the talks for a very long period of time. But the key thing here, of course, is that there's a very narrow window of opportunity for both sides to actually sort of get a relationship back on track. And that's, of course, because we have a US election next year, and we have Taiwanese elections early next year as well. So there's a lot of factors coming into play that will make discussions between the two sides more and more difficult going forward. And I think there's a recognition by both sides that, you know, they really need to move quickly. So while on the one hand, they're really trying to control expectations, and there's a lot of posturing going on in the days leading up to the meeting. So we had a Qin Gang's statement after the call with Blinken last night, sort of, you know, chiding the US and telling them to show more respect. So, you know, in the lead up to this, there's a lot of posturing going on, but I think it's very clear that the stakes are quite high. The window of opportunity to improve ties is very narrow, and there's also a very real threat here, and we're not really talking about improving ties in the abstract. I think a lot of people are very, very conscious of the fact that there has been a lot of tension, especially in the Taiwan Strait, with sort of ships and also aircraft coming into very, very close contact, and there isn't really an efficient and effective way for the two sides to communicate around such incidents, which means that, of course, that, you know, as these incidents increase, the possibility for conflict becomes very real. So I think that's the major deliverable in terms of this meeting. Can we get a situation whereby these types of conflicts in the Strait can be managed effectively going forward?